Welcome to the Movement PT Coffee Cast, where we sit down and talk about physical therapy, health, and whatever else comes to mind during our coffee-infused conversations. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Movement PT Coffee Cast. My name's Dalton, and I'm coming at you today with an EspressoCast. So what we're going to start doing, guys, is I think every Tuesday, we're going to try and drop an EspressoCast for you, which will be a short podcast, about 10 to 12 minutes long, where it'll be either myself or Will or maybe both of us together coming on, having a quick conversation over an espresso, and talking about maybe some things that we experienced during the week at clinic, some things that are going through our mind with regards to the health professional space or just life in general. Just coming on here and give you guys a little bit different taste of a podcast than the normal interviews that we usually release on Sundays with various people throughout the health profession. So I'm going to dive into that. But before we do that, I am going to say thank you to all of you for constantly supporting the podcast and our Instagram page if you do that as well. It's truly humbling to just see week to week the support we get from you guys. So we want to continue to give you the best content. So as always, we're open to feedback. You can shoot us a DM, email, whatever it is, let us know. And also all we ask from you guys is if you head over to iTunes, subscribe to the PT Coffee Cast, leave us a review, a rating. It really helps our podcast grow. And then if you did get value from any episode, please share that episode with one other person. Again, it just helps get our voice out there to more people, helps us to continue to connect with more people, to have amazing conversations on the podcast. So I'm going to take a quick sip of my coffee and then we're going to get into it. All right, guys. So for today, what I wanted to talk about, it was kind of something that I'm going through currently right now, and I would say Will is too, as we continue to build our brand and look for the future as to what we want to do with the movement. So this topic came to mind was that if you have something that you're passionate about, you have something that you want to do, whether it be in the physiotherapy space or any other space, don't be afraid to go for it. I think me and Will at first held ourselves back a little bit because us being students and, now new grads that, having this thing I'm not experienced enough yet. And, should I go for it? And all of these things. And those are fair questions. And yeah, we're not experienced and stuff. And those are things you have to take in consideration. But if it's something that you want to do and it makes you happy, I would say go for it. Try it. I think you need to be okay to put yourself out there. And it can be as simple as just having conversations with people. So reaching out to other people that are doing what you want to do, talking to them, getting some insight into what they're going through or what they're experiencing. And then see if that's something that you're actually really passionate about. I think oftentimes we get caught in this idea that we have to do what's always been traditionally done, and for example, I'll just use the physical therapy space as an example because it's something that I think we just went through and I see it. And again, there's nothing wrong with this. This is just kind of the way it is and the way that we've, been bred to do things is you go to physio school, you pass your exams, you graduate, you go out, you find a full-time job in a clinic, a hospital, whatever it is. You take a bunch of courses, you do continuing education, and you do your thing. And that's kind of the normal, traditional route. As a new grad, you get mentorship. Hopefully, some clinics offer mentorship within the clinic. Those are kind of all the traditional things that you would do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're someone who's questioning, is that what I really want to do? And to be honest, for myself, that's something that I actually questioned before I even got out. I was like, man, I don't know. And now I'm pretty certain that I know I don't want to be in a clinic, 40 hours a week or every single day. And so as I started to have these thoughts in my head, I was like, well, what am I going to do about that? What do I want to do? And as me and Will were creating these avenues for ourselves through Instagram, through the podcast, through connecting with people, I started to realize like I really enjoy this. It's fun. I get to talk and connect with a bunch of people. I get to help people. And there's actually a potential for it to be, a revenue driver for me to be financially stable in the future. And I was like, this is pretty cool. So, right now where I'm at is not doing maybe what you would see as like a traditional route. Like I'm not working full time in a clinic. Right now I'm practicing 2 days a week in the clinic. And then the other days, Monday through Friday and on Sunday, I work at a strength and conditioning gym as a strength coach, where, I coach classes and I train people individually. And it's great. I'm happy. And we're taking steps towards, going after what we really want to do. And I think that if, you're sitting there as a student, or as a new grad, or even as someone who's been a clinician for 5-6 years, and you're like, I'm just, getting tired of it, or it's, you're not feeling it, like sit down and think about like what you truly want. Like, what do you want to do? Because nowadays there's so many opportunities out there for you to chase that you don't have to just accept that. And what I've started to realize is that like, that is what it's all about. Like, that's what makes you happy. That's what gets you up, in the morning to want to make a difference. And I think for myself personally, if I can do that, if I can wake up every day and feel good, and want to, and have a purpose and have a mission and do, what I love every day, then like, it's not really work. And I know that sounds cliche, and a bunch of people are always like, oh yeah, that's just, it's all fine and dandy. And I would agree with that at some points. Like, no matter what, you're going to wake up one day and be like, I don't really want to do it. But if it's something that you've created and that is working for a bigger purpose and aligns with your values and your goals, like, you're going to quickly get over that feeling of not wanting to do work, and get back to that feeling of, I'm doing this for a reason. So I just, it's something I've been thinking about. It's something me and Will talk about often, as we're going through this, trying to create our own mission or life for ourselves in the physiotherapy space. I just wanted you guys to think about that. If you have that thought in your head, you have that feeling, if you're a student out there or whatever you are, if you're thinking those things, like, really take some time to like self-reflect and come up with a game plan as to like what you want to do. And, maybe it's as simple as starting an Instagram page, starting a podcast, start having conversations about things that you really enjoy, start writing blogs, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be anything on a social platform. You can just go and start having conversations with people that are doing the things that you're doing. And then the last thing I'll say, and me and Will, this might happen to us, who knows what's going to happen. But if you fail, you learn from it. You take what you did and you reflect on it and you realize, okay, the next time I go to do something, here's not what I'm going to do. I don't think that there's anything out there, like people tend to look at it as a negative, and failing sucks, but at the same time, that's just going to set you up in the future for success. And that's happened to us on small scales within what we're currently doing right now. And, it sucks at the time. You learn from it and you move on. So I think the fear of failure is what tends to hold people back a lot. And I get people are in different circumstances. Some people can't just give up their job because they have family and they have things that they need to oblige to, but you can always take small steps to getting to what you want if you want it bad enough. So I'm just about done my coffee here, and I don't want to start going into crazy coffee rants if I already haven't. So I'm going to end it there, guys. Just to kind of recap, if you are thinking about stepping outside of what is traditionally done and you have those thoughts in your head, go for it. Try it. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to fail. and continue to experiment until you find something that you truly want to do every single day. All right, guys, I'm leaving the mic. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy the EspressoCast. I'll see you next time. Peace.